Hello there, ladies and gentlemen, this is Boisterous coming to you with some goodiness out of the Zelnaga Caverns. Down here in the bottom left-hand corner we have Ishi, spawning as the red Protoss, and up here in the top right-hand corner we have CRS, spawning as the blue Protoss. I just have a funny story about me trying to commentate this game, because this is actually the second time I've gone through it. The first time, I forgot to turn on microphone capture in Fraps, so I was talking to nothing, because Fraps was not capturing my microphone. And now I'm afraid that that's going to happen again, and I'm actually going to have to run through this game a third time. So, you know, if it's already on YouTube, I just want you to, like, pray for me, like, you know, past when it already happened. So you just sit there and kind of, like, cross your fingers for me. Even though you're already listening to me, it helps me out, just trust me. Anyway, in the actual game, we have CRS going for kind of an interesting build order, because he's cut probes at 10 to get a gateway out really fast, which on this map, unless that gateway is situated right here, not the best build in the world, because this does help you in getting out, you know, zealots quickly, but it doesn't help you anywhere else. Also, just as another side note, I reformatted my computer, so if my mouse speed is off, or my scroll speed, or anything like that is kind of like off, and it's not what it was in my other videos, it's because it's reformatted. Also, I hope the game isn't too loud, because that wouldn't be good for me, because I don't like it when the game's too loud. So I'm just going to move my mic a bit closer to me, so that I come through a bit louder, because I am deathly afraid of the game being too loud. Because that would, I can only re-record a game so many times in a day. We have both players going for pretty standard builds. Again, there's no real variance you're going to be having right now unless you forge fast expand on Zelnaga Caverns, which is literally the worst strategy in the entirety of StarCraft 2. Because you need to, to forge fast expand, you need to build pylon forge. And that's just to block off that entrance. Like, if you want to cleanly block off that entrance, I think you can build a pylon and a forge, and that'll cleanly block it off. And then you need, like, pylon, gateway, cannon, gateway, pylon, gateway, cannon, gateway. And it does not, don't forge a fast expand on Zelnaga Caverns, because you can't even do, like, the fancy wall like they do on Metalopolis, where, like, you wall off in this area between your Nexus and your, you know, ramp, because it wouldn't stop anything. Things would just come from over here and kill your entire mineral line. We have CRS actually quite smartly checking his proxy location. Both players actually checking their proxy locations. I like that. Both of them, neither of them want to get cheesed. Even though both of them are a little bit late, and, you know, if you go back and you check there and you're like, oh, that's where all these zealots are coming from, because at whatever minute mark we're at, because I also forgot to turn my clock on. Yeah, I forgot to turn the clock on. That's not good. Where is the clock setting? Is it in gameplay? 1 second. I will find this. There we go. Alright. At the 4 minutes and 41 seconds mark, it doesn't matter if you find the 2 proxy gates, because there's either going to be like 6 zealots sitting here, kind of just like staring your probe down as he runs right into them, or there's 6 zealots in this general area staring as your probes as they try to run from them. It doesn't work well. If you're gonna scout here, scout it earlier than the 4 minute mark or whatever, because although I guess you can catch... Did it? Alright, my game time. I'm not going to deal with that game timer right now. I forgot to hit the save button, didn't I? Yes, I did. Anyway, we have both players finishing up their warp gates at around the same time. 3-gate robo coming out from Ishi, and 4-gate aggressive 4-gate, actually, because there is a pylon down here, coming out from CRS. And, yeah, this is looking pretty not good for Ishi, because this is kind of a late robo. It's hard to get it out any earlier than this, but 3-gate robo versus fast 4-gate, because this was a pretty freaking fast 4-gate, it almost always goes to the 4-gate player, unless of course you have, like, unless you, of course, you just built sentries in zealots. because sentries and zealots are really good at defending ramps, because you can like force field down here, and then your zealots can slice and dice, and then you can keep force fielding down here to make sure nothing gets out and nothing more comes in. However, there has been no force fields. Interesting choice with that Guardian Shield. Not exactly the best choice. I would have like lured some of the shit. Okay, I would have lured some of the units. I would have run up, seen them. Then when they started attacking me, I would have run back down the ramp and tried to force field them. Try to force field them, just to kind of split the army in half and then move on. However, this is bad, because he is getting completely forced off the property, and the fact that these sentries are going to be, okay, good, he's keeping on the pursuit. These stalkers aren't going to get caught, but everything else here is kind of fair game for the stalkers of Ishi. Yeah, this is not good for CRS. If this sentry goes down, I guess this one does have, that one doesn't have energy. That is not, it kind of slowed down the Immortal. That's like a cellophane S on Superman's chest. It's literally the most minor annoyance ever, because it's like, oh no, I have to walk the extra 3 feet around it. And I'm pretty sure unit pathing actually would walk units from his base around that force field, just because they need to get up to this ramp. They're aiming for like this position on the map. So that was literally the most useless force field I've ever seen. Well, CRS, congratulations. Nice job. We have CRS going for zealots running down the ramp to their death, but apparently living, because these stalkers are nice. Ishi, you already got your army at his front. You don't need a forge. Come on, Ishi. I mean, I like the play. It's definitely, it's a good play. It's like when you drop bunkers at somebody's front when you're Terran, or when you siege up your tanks at somebody's front when you're Terran. You're setting up a defensive line at that guy's base, which forces him not to move out, which is very nice. Not being able to move out in the game of StarCraft is a bad situation to be in. I didn't really note this, but the Immortal just died in kind of a not that smart manner. Immortals, especially since they have a range now, should be kept near the kind of the back, or at least the middle-ish back of the Stalker pack, not up near the front, because up near the front is where it's really easy to snipe them, and it doesn't really give you any extra bonuses that are near the front. You're kind of just, it doesn't really do anything at all, actually. It literally does nothing. We have all of these stalkers. Keep it getting warmed in. I'm still not sure why he isn't going for sentries at all, because sentries would be kind of nice against this amount of zealots, because zealots again have to move down the ramps to attack. So if you can force field the zealots down at the bottom of the ramp, they become free game for your stalkers. Plus in this situation, like, you could drop a force field at the top of the ramp and stop the zealots from slaughtering your units. And actually, they're doing a lot of damage to those zealots. They clean up all the zealots, which I think was actually a bigger loss for CRS than all those stalkers were for Ishi, because now he needs to make more zealots, and you don't want to be making more zealots in a situation like this. You want to get more units that are the real, like, beefy damage units. You have stalkers, sentries, all that stuff. Sentries aren't the beefy damage units, however they are the really, really useful units. Especially in a situation where you're kind of getting leapfrog cannon rushed, you definitely want those stalkers and those sentries. Oh god, target the cannon. Don't let the cannon finish. Why is... CRS. This isn't good. This is pretty significantly bad for you at this point. I think it's time to abandon ship. Like, literally, this is bad. This is like alright, he won. He got me. Because this cannon at your front basically guarantees your death. You're not going to be able to move out past these two cannons, especially with, Ishi warping in units. The fact that this cannon is in range of all this crap, it's the end of the line. I mean, I don't know why he's still here. Ishi is destroying CRS's base. So CRS is definitely in dire straits right now, and yeah, this is not good for CRS. it's not good for CRS at all. His probes are all running, and I don't think he needs to move them now. Why? What? CRS. When your probes are dying by the dozen, you just run them out of the base. Because honestly, the fact that, you know, you let Ishi get set up there, if Ishi was slightly smarter, I mean, again, that was a good play to move your stalkers in front of the ramp. However, if he had just formed a line of stalkers out on the ramp, you know, with 3 stalkers, or if he had just warped in some stalkers on the ramp, the game would probably be over right now. Because this... I don't want to comment on this. You know, there is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6 stealthier locations to drop a Nexus. Is Ishi? Wow, okay, never mind. There are no stealthy... Wow, alright, there are no more stealthy locations than your opponent's natural to drop a base. Apparently he just doesn't want to warp in a unit and walk it down the ramp. That's... Like, honestly, I would have expected this expansion to be a stealthier expansion than this one. But there's the 3 zealots finding the base. And yeah, that's very annoying for CRS. I guess it's actually more annoying for Ishi, because now Ishi kind of needs to just deal with this and pull all of his stalkers back. Yeah, that was interesting base location. He's actually going to defend it for 10 seconds. Oh, he didn't play this off well. Just by the way, he should have built a cyber core instead of 2 gateways. He should have built a gateway and a cyber core, or that's what I think he should have done. Oh, but CRS does leave the game because there's no way you're defending that. I'm sorry. Anyway, guys, you can send in all of your replays to boisteroussc2@gmail.com. I thank you for the continued support in sending in those replays, because honestly, that's how this channel runs. You know, those replays, the fact that I'm just getting so many of them is awesome, because it lets me keep making these videos for you guys. And of course, you can throw any feedback at me over on my Battle.net thread. You know, just bump it up to the front page with your feedback. NBD. I'm not using you guys for free advertising or anything. Don't worry about it. You can also check out and subscribe and follow and all that stuff over my YouTube channel over at youtube.com/user/boisteroussc2. And yeah, this is Boisterous signing out.